Hello, 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 dolls. It is me, ArtWorkOfDR, or DJ Cutie Ruby. So, as you know, my birthday was recently, and I got to pick out my own birthday present, so I went ahead and picked out some lovely dr.ph.martins Bombay India ink and a palette. I also got a water brush, a wide one, so I could do backgrounds with it. And then I also have gotten some watercolor paper, and I'm still waiting for it to show up. I did get one new one I posted on my Instagram. You guys can always check out my Instagram, which is ArtWorkOfDR/DJKittyRuby. So, about these inks, there is 12 of these inks. This is just a plastic palette holder. You can use those little tiny wells with each ink. You can use the medium round hole in the center of them for some water if you would like. That's what I did while I was testing these out. I had a lot of fun just messing around with the ink, some different techniques and things. It does come with a small pamphlet. I didn't really go over the pamphlet very much. This is just watercolor ink, or not watercolor paper. Just regular white paper. It is Canson. I can never say things right. It is cold press, grain fine, 9 inches by 12 inches, and I kind of cut it after I did the swatches, and then I cut it into 2 other pieces, so just to have some fun. This paper is acid free. It was the only watercolor paper I had to test with, so I tested out and made swatches first. They are just, just a little bit there. Back to the little pamphlet you get, it's like actually one piece of paper. It's double-sided. One will have a picture of a butterfly on it, and it says Realism by Janet Nunn Watercolors. This is pretty cool. She did this back in 2008, it looks like. And it basically shows how you could use the inks and then go over top of them with watercolors or other things, and they will stay. The other side is all about the Bombay India inks and how to use them, step 1 through step 6. You can also go to their website for more information and tutorials and things like that. www.drmartins.com. I have not gone to the website myself, but I mean, I'm still learning about inks and everything, so I'm going to be taking my time and playing with them a lot. I will tell you, just a few drops of this ink goes a long way. Whether you use it straight from the bottle or add water, they go a long way. So don't, just act like, you need to use a whole bunch, because you really don't. Like, see here how I'm testing the watercolor out right now for you guys. This is just the purple ink, and then I slowly started adding water each time, and there was a lot of purple in this brush. So I just kept adding water and water and water. Nothing but water. And then I totally rinsed it out and started doing the other colors. So it all depends on how much water you use on your brush and how much ink you pick up in your brush. If you're going to use a paintbrush, I suggest making your colors and testing them out on another piece of paper to see if they are the color that you really want to use. I'm sorry about my angle here, guys. I don't have a very good web camera. I just have like a really old Microsoft LifeCam VX2000J, I believe it was. I've had this thing for years, and when my holder for my regular camera broke inside of the camera, I learned I wasn't going to be able to prop it up and use my other camera for filming things, so it kind of sucks. My other camera is also pretty old. It is just a Fujifilm 10 or something like that, so it's pretty old. So I just tested out each color pretty quick. Like I said, there's 12 colors, from white, black, brown, violet, blue. There's a teal When I first looked at the teal though, I could have sworn it was just blue. The green I thought was teal, because there's two different greens, just regular green, and then there is a grass green, which to me, when you put them next to each other, like you can see them right now, the regular green totally looks like blue in this lighting, but once it dries, it definitely has more of a bluish tint to it. So I consider the grass green a yellow green, and the regular green is a blue green, because there's different kinds of greens, undertones of different colors. Here I painted some black ink, let it dry, and then tried to use the white ink over top. Obviously I did not wait a whole 24 hours, so the white ink kind of started turning gray, which is fine because then I could see how they mix. So I would suggest using a drying tool or letting it sit, your piece sit, if you're going to be going over in layers, because if it's not completely 100% dry, it will mix. I have tested out just a little bit to see after the tests have dried, like filled up my brush with lots and lots of water and just started rubbing, and they don't move. Once they are fully dry for over 24 hours, that's where they are dry. You can paint over them, you can rub your hand over them with water, and it does not rub off on your skin, which is awesome. So say you finish a piece and your child comes over and knocks over water on it, as long as you try to dab up the water, I'm sure your piece will be fine. Your paper might get a little warped, but the inks should not bleed as long as you can dab up that water pretty quickly. So here is a little test. I just sprayed it with some water from an old hair sprayer. It had some kind of like strengthener in it. I rinsed it out pretty well, and I've been using it with water in it for just a long time. So I sprayed it on the paper, and then I just started using the droppers to drop the ink onto the wet paper. I used the violet, the blue, I believe it was, and then I used magenta. I just kind of moved it around. I have a glass desk, as you can see everything underneath. I should probably put something else down, but it's okay. I don't really care. If it's distracting, please let me know, and I will try to fix that for you guys in the future, okay? So here I am just wiping down the glass because it got pretty wet and dirty. I was blowing the colors, and here I go spraying more water down to move that ink around. You can definitely get some different cool techniques by spraying your paper. I had a lot of fun with that. Like I said, it was just testing. So what I did on top of it afterwards wasn't like a really good piece of artwork. It was just messing around with the black ink over top. And I had a little, it was fun. Here I am, I added some white. And now I'm just like going around dabbing with a wet cloth. It's just really like a really wet piece of paper towel. And I just started picking up some of that pigment, splishing the white down into the color. And then I set it aside to let it dry. I'm going to go ahead and tape this piece of watercolor paper that I cut down to the table, so that way it does not move on me, because I have no idea what I'm going to be doing to this piece. I didn't have an actual plan when I taped it down. And the tape that I have is like all-purpose Use General Duck brand tape, and I've had it for a really, really long time. It's just tan, and I use it a lot. Well, not a lot, but mostly just when I have pieces. I've learned though with watercolors and things like that, that if you're not careful, the tape will stick to the paper, and then I basically have to like fold it underneath or cut it off. So I did buy some new tape, and I'm hoping to get it tomorrow, I think, when it should be coming, along with the other thing on the paper. I just, was messing around with some green, This is, the first one was the regular green, which really is more of a blue-green, like I said. And then put some of the grass green down, which is more of a yellow-green. Like I said, I didn't have a plan for this, and I was going to actually cut this footage out, but I decided just to let you guys see me having some fun with the ink. This was just to test the ink out. I will be doing pieces with this ink soon. I have another piece that I am working on. This right here, I just wet down the brush and went back over to reactivate the lines of blue ink that I did put down already. I just wanted to see how much it would move after it sat there for a few minutes. So then I'm gonna go and add more water, see, just light mixturing it in. And now I'm adding more blue. I believe that is the no, that's the blue. I don't know. It's all blue. Just try to darken it up a little bit. At the end, it kind of does look kind of cool, so I did cut it off. And it's just like a little tiny picture, the blue part with the black trees and thing. I added some white. We wanted to muddy it up a little bit. The white actually has a thicker consistency than the rest of the inks. So if you're going to use a dip pen in there, I suggest being very careful because it might clog, even though it says they're not supposed to clog. The white one is very thick. I just wanted to dull down that blue a little bit because it was very bright. I'm just letting it dry for a few minutes before, and here I go testing out the black before just putting it on the wet. My signature and the year. Here I am just adding some crazy little trees in there with black. So, anyway, well, my first impressions of these inks is that they definitely have a lot of potential for all kinds of techniques. I am not proficient in these techniques at all myself. Oh, here's the piece after it's dried a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and just doodle with some black ink on top. I made like a little anime girl with some buns and, you know, just, then I did some little flowers on the side. But, I mean, art is, to me, a form of expression. Every piece doesn't have to come out perfect. So for me showing you guys, you know, just me messing around and having a good time, I feel like everybody should be able to do that without criticism. I did post these on my Instagram page, you know, just to show, like, I really liked the background in that piece, like all the watercolor leaf looking effects. I really enjoyed that, and I wanted to show that off. I should have just left it. I shouldn't have drawn over top of it, but then it's not really testing it out. I wanted to test, like, you know, drawing something over top of it, and I was just messing around, having a good time. Anyway, so back to my first impression of these inks. I really enjoy these inks. They have a lot of good qualities. I'm hoping that my skills will improve now that I have these inks, and I'm going to be trying to use these in many pieces to come. I do have a native piece of an acrylic painting that I'm working on, and then after that I have some smaller projects, and I can definitely incorporate doing some of those pieces with these inks. So all in all, I'm giving these inks a 9. I wish the plastic holder was a little bit thicker, because then I feel like, because it has like a piece of like cardboard underneath to hold, you know, to help keep its shape. But I wish the plastic was just a little bit thicker, but I understand for like weight purposes and things, that's probably why they kept it so thin. I'm keeping mine inside of the plastic for now. I don't have anything I can stick them in right now. All 12 inks. Plus, you know, they're safe. So, yep, I'm giving these a 9 out of 10 because there's good range of colors. You can mix it. The colors, I did not mix the colors when I was doing my little test sheet of all the colors. I just wanted to see them in their pure form. I figure, you know, the only one that isn't really the color that you would think that it would be the red. The red is really more of an orange color, and then you do get the bright orange, sorry. The bright orange looks orange. The bright red looks orange, and then the red looks red but also pink, and then you have the magenta. That is very pinky. But you can add these together and make your own colors and have a good time with it. So, yep, 9 out of 10. If you guys would like me to do more videos of my processes, then like this video and let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see me do. Alright guys, bye-bye!